In California, the minimum wage will start rising. However, it seems that people fail to see the consequences that a minimum wage hike will cause, and that's exactly what we're going to go over today. An article put by the Conservative Tribune states that the mayor of Baltimore, Catherine Pug, decided not to raise minimum wage to $15. People are all tripping out and creating a scene. The article states that she was concerned of the unemployment it could cause. 2 years ago in Phoenix, a McDonald's opened a restaurant that is run entirely by robots. Quote, with the high demand for a minimum wage of $15 per hour and the protests getting worse every day, this is something we had to implement. Plus, with a tremendous margin of human error, poor hygiene, lack of education, laziness, it just makes sense to automate our restaurant now rather than later. End quote, said Paul Horner, a spokesman for McDonald's.
McDonald's Corp is days away from opening a new Phoenix location run entirely by robots. Stay tuned.
Fast food giant McDonald's announced today that they are just days away from launching a restaurant that is run entirely by robots.
A spokesman for the chain said the location will still employ a minimal staff to ensure the machines are working correctly.
The move could eliminate any threat of strike by minimum wage employees.
Shareholders saw their stock increase 3% on the announcement.
Follow this story at newsexaminer.net.
A year ago, an article put out by the Business Insider stated that former McDonald's CEO Renzi warned that an increased minimum wage would foment massive job losses thanks to the low cost of replacing workers with intelligent machines. Quote, it's cheaper to buy a $35,000 robotic arm than it is to hire an employee who's inefficient making $25 an hour bagging French fries. It's going to cause a job loss across the country like you're not going to believe. End quote. Zero Hedge, an article by Tyler Dunder, states that Wendy's unleashed 1,000 robots to counter higher labor costs. Wendy's is planning to install self-ordering kiosks in 1,000 of its restaurants. And finally, an article by Breitbart, St. Louis will lose 1,000 jobs thanks to minimum wage rise.
People read into that, Andy, that what he's saying is this is yet another reason not to double the minimum wage because you're all but enticing guys like me to use machines to replace workers who certainly don't deserve $15 an hour.
Well, and in part that was true. What my position on minimum wage.
That sentiment or the way that was.
No, if you increase the minimum wage, it will incentivize people to automate.
Chain called Cali Burger is introducing this burger flipping robot behind the counter. The CEO, John Miller, is here, and he's going to tell us why. Welcome, John. Good to have you. Appropriate timing on Jobs Day to be talking about robot technology replacing workers. But this is something that Andy repeatedly warned against. What's behind this?
For us, it's as much about turnover as it is anything else. So for whatever reason right now, millennials that we hire don't tend to stay very long. So they come in, we train them, they work for a while, then they go drive an Uber or go home to play competitive video games. So the cost of that turnover on our business is tremendous. And so to the extent we can automate certain tasks in the kitchen and the most dull, dangerous, and dirty ones and allow robots to work side by side humans and reduce the amount we have to spend on training and retraining That's our primary focus.
What does it cost to buy one of these robots?
Right now they cost about $30,000 US, but that cost is declining dramatically as the hardware becomes commoditized and you see increasing usage of robots.
So realistically, in a couple of years, what would a robot like this cost if it catches on?
$10,000 US.
So if you have an opportunity to buy a robot for $10,000 or employ a worker for more than that and deal with all the headaches associated with employing workers, what are you going to opt for?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the headaches, it's also the safety of the food, right? Robots don't spit in food or contaminate food. It's consistency, quality. There's lots of benefits.
So not only do companies have to deal with the minimum wage hikes, but they also have to worry about rate hikes, which we saw that the Federal Reserve raised their rates last month. And with so many payments owners have to make, cuts are a common sense. But let's go deeper into what a minimum wage does. If you are looking for a job and the minimum wage is $15 an hour, you have to convince that employer that your labor is worth $15 an hour. But if you don't get the job. Easy, right? But what if I don't have enough skills, but I am willing to work for, let's say, $8 an hour or $10 an hour? Because all I want to do is get exposed and make connections. With a minimum wage, the government is telling me or us it's $15 an hour or zero. Kick rocks. Which is horrible, especially for the working class. If we are willing to work for less to get experience, make connections, climb the ladder, if that's what you want to do, then who are they to tell me otherwise? Honestly, all we want is an opportunity to showcase our skills or our labor, right? But with a minimum wage, we can't do that. Minimum wage is destroying opportunities, exposure, skill enhancement. And instead of working our way up or to the top, some of us, we go to school, borrow money, and get some of these jobs. Honestly, I hate that my labor has a price tag to it when I know I am worth more or less sometimes. So, anyways, think about it. Let me know what you think. Later. You can always contact me at elcariño323@gmail.com.